Hey, good morning, everybody. Stan from Bar Z. It's a beautiful Sunday morning here in Rancho Cucamonga, California. I'm going to slip over to YouTube here and watch the stream. It's just getting started. I'm going to start off by muting it because I don't need to hear myself twice. I've already heard myself once. And we're going to check the stream. Okay, looks good. I'm on YouTube and it looks like it's coming through. So I was going to let a few people show up. I'm just out here in the shop doing some odds and ends and getting ready for a work week tomorrow. I've got more plastic work to do. And I got a few people popping in already. Look at that. Steve Fifield says he just got notified. I set the notifications for an hour, Steve. That's odd. Paul Chirello, good morning, buddy. And Fat Janus says, hello, Stan. So hello, Janus. How you doing? Oh, I haven't watched Saturday Night Special yet. I was up late last night doing some social stuff, things like that. Hey, I got a question for you. I'm using a microphone right here. It's a Blue Snowball, but I've got a little fan going in the back just circulating some air. Is that bleeding over into the audio? Do I need to go turn that off? Let me know. Look at A-Bomb's videos yet. That's coming up for me today. This afternoon is kind of my YouTube time. I catch up on Meatloaf's Saturday Night Specials, Sunday Night Nightcaps, all my favorites. Okay, so you're not hearing that fan. Lyndon, good morning from Adale, South Australia. Good Lord, it's got to be 2 o'clock in the morning over there. Morning. RC Miller, good morning. Good morning, Craig. How's everybody doing today? I'm playing with we're in a different camera location today. That is, I got a pretty good tip from a guy that's using the Power Link systems. He said it matters which line it goes on, which makes perfect sense to me. He said because most residential type electrical service have a L1 and an L2, so basically, 2 phases, if you want to call it that. But there's an L1 and an L2 and a neutral. The neutral is common throughout the house. The neutrals were all brought together, but L1 is independent and L2 is independent. So he says it works on either, and that doesn't make sense. But he said it works better if you get it on the same phase as the receiver that's down in the house. So thus, we are now on the north side of the shop, and I'm plugged into the north circuits in the shop because basically when I wired this place, all the south side circuits were on L2 and all the north side circuits were on L1. So we got the TP link right here plugged in to the north side, and we're trying that. Now, I ran speed tests on both. I try to be as thorough as possible. On the L1 circuit, the TP link was 31 megabytes per second down and 4.2 megabytes per second up. But on L2, and this is a little interesting, I had 25 down and 5 up. So I had less download speed, but more upload speed. So here we are on line 2, and we're going to see if the extra 1 megabyte per second helps. Oh, let's take a look. Lyndon says it's 1:30 a.m. Yeah, I believe it. What are you doing up so late? Hi from Illinois, from Walter. Hi, Walter. 2 legs of the board. Steve Finfield said yesterday was better. Yes, it was better. I'm trying to get it even better. I'm trying to figure out how to do some Tom Zelickman magic and maybe roll a title card at the beginning and then roll some credits at the end, but I'm not going to do it on Google Hangouts, that's for sure. Paul Chirello says, thanks for the assistance on the VFD. You're most welcome. Sorry you had to rewire a bunch of stuff. Jeffrey Wolf says, "Hi, how are you going? What are you going today? What are you going today?" Janus says it's not as smooth, slightly jerky. Is it like that for others? No, it's probably just me. I'm kind of jerky, anyways. Hi, Blue. How you doing? Syncom says hi from Pennsylvania. Hi, hello back from Pennsylvania, or from California to Pennsylvania. Walter Sepsi, how do you balance a grinding wheel? I don't even consider balancing an issue until you get out into the monster sizes. A 5, 6, or 7-inch wheel is so small that they, right out of the box, if you dress them clean, they run smooth. Now you're always going to have a problem child. You're going to get one out of the box where the hub is where you get a side wobble, and these kind of wheels are never going to balance right. Even if you balance them, would that be a static balance? You're always going to have that wobble, and it's just a problem child, and it's going to give you problems every time you put it on the machine, and they simply need to be discarded. But this is very rare. You know, I've only had 2 wheels that ever did that to me. So balancing isn't even really an issue with the smaller wheels. When you get up into the bigger ones, then you need to do a balancing arbor and do a static balance on your wheels. And maybe we'll do a video on that on some bigger wheels where it's really needed. Let's see, Robert Watson. Hi, Stan. 5 p.m. in the UK, looking fairly smooth. Hello, Robert, and thank you for the feedback. Paul Compton. How you doing, Paul? Hey, the reason we got the TP link was because of Paul, and I'd like to thank you, Paul, for all your input on helping me with my internet. Looking crisp here, but lip sync is poor, as per usual. Hangouts problem. Yeah, I think it's just a software issue. No sound. Someone saying there's no sound. Are we not getting sound? Check 1, check 2. Oh yeah, I'm showing sound here. Put your headphones on. Oh, I'm getting behind on comments here. It's looking good here, Stan from Blue. I see lots of plastic strings just hanging around all over the place behind you. Yeah, I got a trash bin full of it over there. There's a snowdrift up next to the mill. The shop vac's full again. If you'll notice back there on the surface plate, I've got some of those blocks that I was working on. They're getting inspected. That's part of what I'm doing today, is some of the final ops on that. Let me scroll up. I'm getting behind on comments here again. Do you prefer any brand of wheel? Norton's are good wheels. Radiacs are good wheels. The MFC brand is good. I haven't really found any bad wheels. Any reputable manufacturer's been pretty good. There's one called Bay State grinder wheel, so Bay State abrasives. RC Miller says he's looking good in Lake Havasu. Hello, RC Miller. Jeffrey Wolf, what are you going to be doing today? I'm going to be, I've got some more ops to do on that plastic that's over on the surface plate, and we've got all the OD work done. Basically, the lathe work is done. And I still have the center holes to drill, and my Z-axis DRO is going to be a godsend. I've got very specific depths I have to go to with, let's see, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 different diameters that have to go down that hole in different progressions, and all my hole depths are plus or minus 5 thousandths on my hole depths. Some of the holes are a lead-in angle. Some of them are a flat bottom hole, and I just ordered a bunch of tooling to get down in that block. It's a 6-inch block, so I have to get down in there and make progressive hole patterns. Some get tapped. I actually had to go out and buy a special tap. to get down that block. I had to get that big old wonker there to get down deep enough in the block and get a hole tapped. So that's up next. Is the next set of ops on those blocks. Oh, let's see. Thanks, Stan. You the man. You're most welcome, Walter. TAWPT Tool says, looks good in Sacramento. Smile, you're on a 39-inch LG. Okay, I'm smiling. I'm smiling. Good Lord. That's larger than life. Sound is good here. All good here. Sound and sync are okay. I've noticed on the repeats, after it uploads and turns into a regular video, that the audio and video are out of sync. Running smooth in the Colorado Rockies. Okay, let's see. Sound and video is acceptable in Houston. Houston, we do not have a problem. Good morning, amateur redneck. Stan in HD is awesome. Actually, that's a little scary. EFF Wrench says, so far, best sound and vid in northern Utah. Okay. There's always a tap you don't have. Indeed to that, Blue. I keep buying them, and a lot of times the trouble is you know you've got it. You just can't find it, so you end up buying another one. Hey, you have tons of fancy packing material for lots of packages to Brad. Yeah, I do. I got a whole bin full of shavings to pack boxes in. Some people, a thumbs down before you started. Paul, it happens. You got to have thick skin to be here. I got one. I'm seeing one right now. I don't even pay attention to that stuff anymore. Don't really care. If you want to look at it a different way, look at your thumbs up to thumbs down ratio. See how many you got up, see how many you got down. If your ups are more than your downs, you're in good shape. Streaming loud and clear in Indianapolis. Hello, Indianapolis. I'm watching your vid from France. Hello, Pierre. Frank says, runs better than the last one. Good one. All the best from South Germany. Yes, but you always find that tap immediately after. That happened. I needed, what was I looking for? Oh, a 5C collet stop. I have a very nice hard-hinge 5C collet stop. Right here. So this is a spring-loaded 5C collet back right here. It's got a nice spring load to it, and I couldn't find it. And I looked for a week, and I looked for 2 weeks. I looked for 3 weeks. So I bought the rest of this kit from Breakheart, which is the tubes and the stops and everything else. And literally the next day, I found my hard-hinge collet stop. So there's a lot of truth to that. Hey, we got 57 people watching now. I'm getting behind on comments again. Let's scroll up here a little bit. You need a cover for your surface plate. I have a cover for my surface plate. I'm actually measuring those blocks right now before they go to the next operation. Can't find it why I have so many 13 and 15 millimeter wiggler sockets. Yeah, I've got a lot of 10 millimeter. 10 millimeters are popular too. Override the down with the ups. Indeed. Quickest way to find a lost tool is to replace it. Thumbs down are meaningless because you have no way of knowing what they don't like. YouTube should get rid of them. No, I like the thumbs down and the thumbs up. I mean, it gives you an overall view of what's going on. And thumbs up actually bumps you up on the recommended list over on the right, where you end up recommended for your keywords and things like that. So the more thumbs up you get, the higher your ranking is on that little sidebar. So that system's pretty good. It's like the +1s over at Google kind of thing. Let's see. Sound okay now? Rebooted computer. Okay. Caveman's Man Cave. Joe Falmo says, Stan, I'm seeing a trend here. Next YouTube will be live streams in the machinist community. It's tough. You're on a cord. We haven't figured out how to do it wirelessly. You know, I probably need to get a longer cord for the camera. Right now, I could probably get you guys 5 feet in any direction without having to, you know, drag the laptop around. And you got to have a PC. You know, if I'm working on the lathe or on the mill, those GoPros are this big. I can get it in, you know, where you can really see what you're doing. But look at what we have here. You know, I got a decent laptop that I paid quite a bit of money for, and I would hate to see the keyboard scattered with, you know, blue chips and burn marks on the screen and things like that. So I don't really think it's going to cover everything, just simply because the users or the creators don't want to destroy their hardware. Okay, Armchair Machinist says hello from UK. Now that it is streaming better, I kind of like it. Well, thank you. Hamza Lickman, glad to see this is working well, Stan. I'm off running errands and watching from the phone. Seems good so far. Don't watch on your phone and drive, Tom, but thank you for all your help. And thank you for all your input. Quinn Berry wants to keep the thumbs up, but not the thumbs down. Dan's Workshop, Hardinge. Is it Hardig or Harding? It's Hardinge, like a dingy shirt. I thought it was hard hinge, like hinge. Yes, I think you're right, Quinn. Hot chips in the boobs is not fun. No, that's the truth. I mean, I get them here between welding and working around the mill with some of the tool steels. When I make squares, I get these, you know, you sweat a little bit right here at the crook of your arm, and then those hot chips just land in there, and you can hear them sizzle when they hit, and you just get branded, and you look like a heroin addict at the end of the day. But I'm sure hot chips in the boobs isn't great either. I look for a views to TU ratio in excess of 10%. A few TD just shows you're being noticed, but they could at least let you start. Indeed, Paul, they could at least let me get going before they say, wow, this sucks. It hasn't started yet, but it really sucks. What else did I want to mention? My next stop on the blocks over there is all the drilling. Like I said, the lathe work's complete. You guys all saw what I did in the last few shows about getting the lathe work done. I did all the threading, you know, on the lathe. That Acme threading was the last op. When was the last time you cut a number 4 Acme in 2 passes? That was awesome. But big old curly cues coming out of there. I think I was 100 at the 40.5 degree angle. I was like a 139 thousandths depth to cut, and I was plowing at about 90 thousandths per pass out of there. But next stop is going to be the drilling. Like I said, the Z-axis on the mill is going to be really handy. I've got aircraft drills and all these specialty taps to get down on that block and make all these stepped holes and everything for the ports. So that's up next. Oh, fixturing. I'm going to work on that today too. I've actually got some blanks. These are what screw onto onto those blocks. So this is the next stop. So think of that as kind of an oil filter that spins on those blocks. So that's next. I got to work on I haven't even done any fixturing for this, so I got to get these held in the lathe for OD work or for ID work. Doing the OD last. So that's on the thing for today is set up for the drilling on the blocks and do fixturing on the next set of parts. Nick Schneider, good morning. I tend to give a thumbs up for most videos unless they are really boring. Okay, I'm a little boring, but not a lot boring. Always thought it was Inge like Hinge too, but I have a boss who swears it's harding. I will stick with the Inge. Nick Schneider, good morning. Hybrid Hippo, nice Sunday from Finland. Good morning, Hybrid Hippo. Weld spark in the butt made me laugh. The cows look like there's a human in our drinker. You lost me, Blue. Blobs of hot solder in the boot. Sure make you dance. The one that really got me is I was underneath my truck welding on the exhaust system, hood on, kind of laying on my side. And when a hot one lands in your ear and you can hear it sizzle all the way in, you know, it makes you really react. And good Lord, you know, and your earwax just bursts into flames. So you're like a little candle there. Hey, Stan, yesterday someone asked about choosing scales for the Blue DRO or similar device setup. Your thoughts? From what I understand, there's only two types of scales that work with the Blue DRO. The gentleman over there at Blue DRO, I talked to him back and forth on Facebook, and he is working on a module for the nice magnetic scales that go down into the millions. You know, that little Bluetooth sending unit will put crap into it. You're going to get crap out of it. But if you give it a really nice signal with a really nice set of scales, you're going to get some resolution out of it. So they are working on that for the nicer scales. Those eye gauging scales are inexpensive, like less than $30. It's called eye gauging, but they plug right into his module right now. But he is working on some nicer ones. Howder 1951. Hey Stan, thumbs up from Selrick, Manitoba, Canada. Just checking out this format. Looks promising. Cheers. Hey, how you doing, Canada? It's all the tools you make to get the job done that you forgot you had one like it. Indeed. I've been driven away from the lathe by a spray of hot brass chips. I managed to cut the power at the breaker panel before I crashed the truck. Good Lord, just run away. Put on a full body armor and go. Hey, Kel, good morning. Did it come out the other ear? Yeah, Kel, yeah, it just went straight through. Flaming earwax. This is a good incentive for you to clean your ears and get the wax out of them, lest you burst into flames. Nick Schneider says, I've had good luck with the eye gauging, and they were cheap enough that you don't have to worry about ruining one. Yeah, they are. You know, I always thought it would be kind of neat to set one up maybe on a table saw with a fence where the fence runs back and forth and locks down, where you could just, you know, release that fence, move it over, and it would automatically tell you how far it is from the blade to the stop. So I thought that'd be a pretty cool application for that setup. Roger says, hi, Stan from Winnipeg, Canada. Hi, hello, Canada. BC Block, just checking in on lunch break. Hello, Brian. Hello from Berlin. Hello back from Southern California, US. Okay, the comments have slowed down a little bit here. I do want to announce one more time, just in case he's watching, and or maybe he catches the this when it turns into a video. I still haven't gotten an email. I know I've said this in the last two, but Curtis Kengott, you're the winner of the Shear Tomiko mic, the decimal equivalent charts, and the anchor lube. Shoot me an email, barzindustrial@msn.com, and give me your address so I can get your prize to you. And today we're on a 30-second delay as opposed to our last one, which was a 60-second delay. So I'm able to see your comments a little faster. Nick Schneider, what are you working on today in the shop? I just covered that. Would you like me to cover it again? The blocks are back there on the surface plate. I just finished inspecting them from all the lathe work. So I'm 4 for 4 on those. So I'm good on all my lathe work. I need to get the drilling done down deep inside the blocks for all the ports. That's the next op. That's all in the mill. Also, I'm working on the fixturing on the next bit of parts. It's the oil filter that screws onto those blocks. And you can see my pile of plastic over there in that bin from all my turning yesterday on the lathe. Why do you have this delay? It gives the upload buffer time because your upload rates are jumpy. So if you do it on a 30-second delay, it smooths out the stream. It makes the stream smoother for you, and it's not in real time. And the worse your upload is, from what I understand, the worse your upload is, the more of a roller coaster ride it's on, the more time you need to smooth it out and create a smooth video. Let's see. Wow. Okay. Nick Schneider. Oh, we'll have to make it to the bash. Blue Wolf, you do have to make it to the bash. Come see us. Speaking of hot things, burning, was dragging my welding cables around yesterday and realized how much I hate big loops of cable. Anyone got any great solution for welding cable reels? What kind of length are we talking about here, Brian? 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet? I have a 5-micron magnetic encoder on the cross slide of my Harrison L5. No loss of clearance. Nice, 5-micron. That's a nice little one. Howder 1951 says it's a great format stand. I got to admit, some videos I watched, the comments are the best part. Where else would you find flaming earwax comments? Yeah, you know, we go on the air and we have no idea what we're going to talk about. So it's pretty funny. You know, if you guys tuned in, what was it, Friday night? We were crushing beer cans on foreheads Friday night. Joe Falmco, cut an input shaft on an 18-inch speed tranny. Only place for the sparks and slag is down the sleeve of the leathers. Oh, and it's trapped in there. At least the flames can't get out. You know, you'll just incinerate within yourself. Nick Schneider, sorry, I just tuned in up. Nick, I'm just yanking your chain. Don't sweat it. Killed the buffers so the video isn't jumpy, indeed. It's remembering all the numbers I print out on a cheat sheet. Lazy Glider, hi Stan, hi back. I could 3D print those parts. Don't tell anyone, it'll put me out of business. Yeah, you probably could 3D print them and maybe follow up with some drilling and tapping. I've seen some of the 3D printer stuff. They made one guy actually tried to make prototypes of that block 3D printed. The threads were just, oh my God, they were horrible. So yeah, 3D printing's got its applications, you know, kind of proof of concept. You look at it, go, yeah, look at that. It might work. Wow, does it really work? No, it's just really bad. So, I mean, if you followed up the 3D printing with maybe a little bit of machining, I wouldn't want to try to retime the threads on those Acmes and stuff, but yeah, I guess you could. I have 100 feet of 2-aught cable on my welder. 100 feet. That's a hell of a reel. What material is earwax the right cutting fluid for? I don't know. It's real similar to anchor lube, except mine's yellow, not green. Make all the threads after. Yeah, you could just make them the OD size and just cut the threads in afterwards. I've cut 3D printed stuff before, threaded it, or, you know, clean out a port. They'll print something round, and then I'll just run a reamer through it and clean up the hole. So I've done that for guys before. It's a pain. God, it's just not very accurate. It's just it's you got the melt factor. As this thing's building, it's just a big gooey blob of melted plastic, and you got it all precise on your computer, and you're sitting there printing it out, and everything's sagging and moving, and as it's cooling, and it's just a big blobby mess. Paul Trilla, dude, your ears are burning. Yeah, people talk about me all the time. No, your ears are really burning. They're on fire. Hi from Rose Hill, Kansas. Great format. Hey, Ted, how you doing in Rose Hill, Kansas? Acoustical installation. Unconventional milling. 3D printing is the future. They keep saying that. You know what? I hear you, but I don't see it. These guys keep spitting out these 3D printed things and sending them over to me to finish for them. And, if I got a 10-part run of a specific thing and I put them in a stop and try to find a reference surface somewhere, it's just not there. These parts are not consistent. You should do a Google Live Hangout with some of the other YouTube machinists. Yeah, we've actually talked about it. I was talking to A-Bomb and Tom Lipton where we could all get together and punk each other, heckle each other, just there's nothing worse than a heckling crowd and how to deal with that. A crowd that's sitting there heckling you. Actually, Tom Lipton's the one that dared me to crush a beer can on my forehead Friday night. So heckling does work. I know you were being sarcastic. I saw your little unhappy face. I had a co-worker start a magnesium fire in his swarf tray one time. Wow. Swarf tray on fire with a magnesium fire. I've got a magnesium fire story. Down in the low desert, there's a place called Glamis. Look it up on the internet. It's a big sand dune range, and it's actually the largest sand dune range in the northern hemisphere, and it's second only to the Sahara Desert, which is in the southern hemisphere. But so we're down there. We got buggies and dirt bikes and all this stuff. And back in the early 80s, it was very common to burn Volkswagen cases. Pull all the studs out of a Volkswagen case, and you throw them on the campfire and get the magnesium going. And then we'd take coolers or ice chests or whatever full of water. And after the magnesium is burned down, molten, it just as soon as you put water to it, you're just adding fuel to the fire. And it's literally not atomic, hydrogen reaction, maybe like a hydrogen bomb, but you get a small mushroom cloud out of it. If you give it about half a gallon of water, a nice hard douse, just run as you dump it on there. And at night, the light is intense. It's just white light. And, me and some of my other crazy desert buddies are sitting around dumping water on a magnesium fire. And there's these two little girls, and their mom came over and said, "Honey, don't look at the fire. You'll hurt your eyes, yada, yada. Get away from those guys. They're crazy." So she pulls these two little girls away, and we can hear them over there talking. They said, and they're talking to their mom. They go, "How come he gets to look at the fire?" And then one girl turned to the other one and says, "They don't have that much longer to live. Let them go." So what's going to come out of a kid's mouth next? So that's my magnesium story. I thought it was comical. Middleton, Nova Scotia, in the house. Hey, BU Buster, how you doing? Isle Gopher, good morning. What do I think about self-driving cars? Oh, what would I think of self-driving cars? Whose fault is it when it gets into an accident? Do we blame the navigation company? Do we blame the technician that worked on the car, or do we blame the driver? It's not really a driver. He's just kind of sitting there. So I'm not really crazy about the self-driving cars. 30-year-old guys don't have much longer to live. Yes, indeed. The things kids say, there's a lot of honesty that comes out of their mouth. I use a Form Labs Form 2 at work. I use a tank of liquid resin cured with a Blu-ray laser. I can print 0.250 MOD 96 DP gears will run together. It's not your average home 3D printer. $4,000. That's not cheap. Oh man, I'll go for lost us. He just got his Wi-Fi working again. Lawyers always blame whoever has the most money. Indeed, but in the meantime, we got a bunch of cars crashing into each other. And Google was doing the self-driving cars, and say it's driven by Google Earth or Google Maps, and I'm running Google Maps on my phone for my nav on my smartphone, and that thing loses me all the time, sends me to the wrong places and stuff, and I'm going, you're going to use this to guide me around in a car that I don't have to drive? No thanks. Yeah, you can chug a beer while the car drives. Does that still constitute drinking and driving? You're just drinking and riding. Keld says he has a self-driving car. Tell us more, Keld. I want to know how the driverless handles temporary detours or construction zones with a flagman. Well, you know what's interesting about Google Maps? Say you navigate from point A to point B, and in between, maybe there's a traffic jam. Now, how does it know there's a traffic jam? Does it monitor the local, news channels? No, it doesn't. What it does is it takes all the other users. When you enable Google Maps, you allow your data to be sent. Now, they know that phone's in your car because you're using it and you're traveling where you're going. And they know via your GPS how fast your phone is going. So the people ahead of you that are stuck in that accident, they know their car is moving at 10 miles an hour and you're 30 miles behind them. And that's how that part of the freeway can show up in yellow or red on your map and say, hey, there's a traffic accident ahead. Google Maps is actually using someone else's data to tell you what the traffic's like ahead of you, and recommend alternative routes and things like that. So it's pretty amazing the way that system works. Self-driving cars will be indispensable for the blind, handicapped, and those that are too old to drive. Yes, that is a great plus, but until they can get them reliable enough where regular drivers don't have to worry about them, they're not a great idea. I don't have any trouble helping out a blind or disabled person myself, and I'll drive them around before I want to see a self-driving car next to me. Truck trains are a really cool thing. Link of string traffic together. I've seen those in Australia where they're going through those long plains where it's just a train of trailers. We zoom up, see if we've missed anything. Toyota Prius. A Toyota Prius is self-driving? Wow. If you add enough caster to any car, we'll straighten out. Looking for those videos, Nick. Some people worry that the artificial intelligence will take over. I'll start to worry after they perfect artificial stupidity. I could probably help with that. I could help them do their programming. Honest officer, we're all in the back seat. That's true, Joe. We're all back here drinking. Google's doing the driving. Go write the ticket to Google. I've had Google Maps route me around a traffic jam, and it was great. Yes, it does do that. Reliably, not really. There's some times where it fails, but for the most part, it works good. Google's got their stuff together. How to follow the lines for the light dusting of snow. Sometimes it is. I thought self-driving cars was a retarded concept until I saw it demoed on a Tesla. The term self-driving is inaccurate. It's really an advanced form of cruise control. I drove a friend of mine's Mercedes. He just got a brand new Mercedes, and I jumped on freeway, and I'm just doing 60 or 70 miles per hour down my lane, and I'm the only one on the freeway. It was, I don't know, Saturday or Sunday morning, fairly early, and just scattering of cars. So I'm rolling along pretty good, and I'm just two-fingering this wheel. This car is smooth and just driving straight as an arrow, and I go to change lanes, and just using the thumb and forefinger, and I didn't even put my signal on because who am I signaling to? There's no one around me. So I go to just do a little bit of steering wheel, and the car's fighting me, and I couldn't get it. So I said, well, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of cruise control. I put on my signal, and it loosened right up, and it went right over. I turned off the signal, and it snapped right back into its lane. It was detecting we call them turtles here, the turtles, the little reflectors in the lane. It was detecting those as I drove. So unless you turn your turn signal on and be a good driver, those auto driving things are a very real thing. Oh, I got to catch up on comments here again. I'm getting behind. Hard to follow the lines of light dusting of snow. Sometimes it is. You have 3 to 4 incidents in California, I think, with self-driving. Oh, 3 to 4 accidents in California? Bots, dots. Is that what you call them? We call them turtles. They're just little reflectors, but that Mercedes was detecting those and keeping me in my lane. It was impressive. All right, guys, we've been on the air for 40 minutes. This has been a pretty good morning show. If there's any other questions or anything for me, any other comments on the channel, trying to do new camera angles. We got a fresh camera angle here today, so we'll move around the shop and show different things. Last call for comments. All right. It can be overcome, Nick. You can feel it resist you. Like I say, the car was so smooth. I was just thumbing forefinger on the wheel, and the way it's steered and everything. And within your lane, you can swerve around, and move around in your lane a little bit there. But as soon as you try to force it far enough to get out of your lane, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm not gonna say it doesn't allow it, but it resists you. You can muscle it through, but when you turn your turn signal on, that goes away. Beer can to the head. Don't have a beer can. Nice try. It's driver assist, indeed, and it does the stopping thing too. If you crowd up on someone, it's gonna slam the brakes on, which I'm not a fan of either. I'd rather just pay attention to what I'm doing. Are you going to be here tomorrow? I might do an afternoon show. Pierre says live shop was a great idea. Thank you. Beer can to the head. Don't have any beer cans. Robert, all working great now. Robert, you came just in time for watch me sign off. Grinding arbors, wheels. How many do you keep mounted up? Right now I have 5 mounted up. Dressed, balanced, ready to go. But that's way more than you need. If you're doing just flat work, you maybe need 2. It's a good form. Thanks, Blue. All right, guys. I'm going to close up for the day and do some of my fixturing work and things like that. I've got, like I said, I've got a few things to do around here. Let me get this white shirt off because this thing will last about 10 minutes. See what I did for you guys? I put this on just for you. But with that, I wish you a good Sunday or whatever day of the week it is where you're watching, and have a good day or evening.